Honk.
That's what I'm talking about. What's going on, everybody? Welcome, Arvanauts. Welcome, everyone, to a Wednesday night stream. I wonder if you can hear that. Can you hear that sound? Can anybody hear the sound? Maybe I have to turn up the mic a little bit. Yeah. That right there is a little bit of rain. We got some rain on the roof. You hear my voice? Well, yes. Not wind. It's actually rain, Triffid. So we got some rain popping down. No, not ocean waves, sadly. No, this is rain coming down. Yeah, it's a little bit rainy outside, but it is. It's been a heck of a week, quite honestly. It's been a not an easy week for the family. There's been a lot of stuff that we're dealing with and things like that. But it's also been a hell of a week because there's also been some good stuff happening, including relating to some of the announcements or sort of, I've already made these announcements, but sort of confirmations for people that may not have heard this before from the horse's mouth, as it were. That assumes that I'm the horse, but you know what I'm saying. So it's been an interesting week, I'd say, and but I am excited to be with all of you for a bonus stream because of Legacy of Dragonholt, because I have finished my Grey Shade revisions, at least from the first editorial pass of this latest edition, and sent it off to the second person editing it, which is our good friend John Helfers. And I also did a lot of adulting today. I had to deal with a lot of stuff relating to bills and cars and kids and family decisions and all that adult stuff. Your dishwasher's gurgling and snorting. At the moment, my dishwasher's not working. That's one of many things that happened during this very, very eventful week, I'll just say. So yeah, but anyway, so we've got a lot of stuff going on, but I thought that it was a good time to be able to do something that I've been having a lot of fun doing, and that's some bonus streams with Legacy of Dragonholt. So I've been having a good time with that. That has been fun times. No, I did not run up and down stairs at all today. Actually, I'm not out of breath at all. That was yesterday or whatever it was, 2 days ago, where I was literally running up and down stairs to deal with dishwasher stuff. Today, I did not have to do that. I was running around after my son earlier today, but that's a whole different matter. But no, we are here, and we're here for a bonus stream of some Legacy of Dragonholt, and so I am excited about that. I want to thank, by the way, Mrs. Dunsel for the resub. I saw that. Thank you so much, Mrs. Dunsel, as always. I really appreciate it. And yeah, we're going to be playing some of this because I've been having a lot of fun with this game, and I want to strike while the iron is hot, so to speak, and get another session of this in. I want to do this, when I can, basically, these bonus streams when I can. They will be coming up here and there, but it's worth doing because it's really fun. And my setup now, I think, what I decided to do was, because I'm up here in my office anyway, and this is my space now, I decided to just basically keep set up the microphone stand with the little arm and everything, because one of the big issues was taking it down and then resetting it is the problem. So instead, I just placed it over in this one corner of the room, taking the webcam off first. And that means that now it's pretty well set. So it seems to be functioning pretty well now, which is good. That's great. So we're going to have a chance to play some Legacy of Dragonholt. Before I go any further, though, and also because, of course, normally right now you'd be seeing the incredible play of Community D&D with the Shadow Crew. But sadly, the Shadow Crew is not playing today. That's been rescheduled a couple of weeks for now. So I thought, why not jump in myself? So that's what we're going to do. Before I get any further, though, just a couple of reminders about ways to support us here on the channel. If you haven't done so already, please follow us here. Please check out the YouTube, which is !ArvTube. Discord is !ArvCord. Twitter is !ArvTweets. Website is arvineleron.com. Of course, the shop is !ArvShop, where you can get stuff for Infinity and Beyond, Adventures Middle-earth, and others. Soon to be Esper Genesis stuff as well. That whole shop is under renovation, though. It's it's basically being worked on, so we apologize for the mess while we clean things up, so to speak. So we've got that. !ArvTreon is the Patreon. 23 patrons, $2.05 per month. That really is the financial backbone of the channel and is what is going to allow me to commission some overlays for a particular event I'm going to be discussing next month, so I'll talk about that in a little bit. So any support you can give there is much appreciated. It also, of course, gives you inspirations to help the players. It allows you to get cool stuff for you, including epic poems poems and character backgrounds and things like that. So please consider jumping on board and supporting us over there. We really do appreciate it. And of course, exclamation point Arftreon for that. And of course, you can sub to the channel, which of course Mrs. Dunsel was kind enough to do. That will give you those custom sub badges and emotes and all that kind of good stuff, plus inspirations to help the players as well. On the publishing side, exclamation point Icarus for my Icarus graphic novel from Athos Arts, about which I'm going to make an announcement, or I'm going to sort of reaffirm. I already made this announcement, as I said, but I'm going to confirm it in case you haven't heard in just a minute. Athos is also doing my Greyshade novel, as previously described, and so that's going to be coming out in a couple of months, and the Kickstarter for the rest of the books and the tabletop role-playing game and the board game and the audiobook is all going to be late summer, early fall, so that's what's going on with that. Very exciting. And if you have not heard about this already, please consider checking out exclamation point Greyshade KS for details about that, and exclamation point Library for Tales and Tomes from the Forbidden Library, my 5e adventure and sourcebook, which hopefully sometime this century will actually emerge from customs. I saw a few clips of President Biden delivering an amazing, really great speech, laying out a really good set of priorities that hopefully will move us back to a position of sanity in this country, even if some of them are initiated. It would be nice if during that time President Biden had also said, by the way, please release everything from customs that shouldn't be stuck there. No, it's okay. I think he's got bigger things on his mind. But if anyone could please let my books go. Please let the books go. We want to sell them to people and get them to Kickstarter backers and all that kind of good stuff. Anyway, that is going on with exclamation point Greyshade exclamation point Library for that. And last but certainly not least, of course, exclamation point BLM, as always, Black Lives Matter. Very important to affirm and assert the significance and importance of Black lives. It remains important, so please continue to support that and go over there for more information, up-to-date information about resources, educational opportunities, places to donate, and so forth. And exclamation point Help Now, which is the World Health Organization page on suicide prevention. Very important to reach out to others when they need help and to reach out to others when you need help as well. Now, with all that said, I am going to, let's see, I'm going to get rid of this, and I'm going to get rid of this, and then last but certainly not least, I'm going to turn on... Okay, sounds good. Thank you, Shadowed. Yes, and that's one of the things that I'm going to be talking about here in just a moment. Kapow! There we go. Welcome to my purple room, everybody. Welcome. I am here in my board game setup, as you can all see. I'm ready to go. I've got Legacy of Dragonholt right here. Before I sort of talk about the board game, though, I just did want to mention a couple of things here, which may not have been here before, although I'm now noticing that this, for some reason, is like... Okay, that should be better. I think that's better. We want that camera out of the picture. Yeah, that's right. Okay, focus. You can do it. You can do it. Don't focus on the mic. Focus on me. There you go. Okay, good. Yeah, not for much longer though. This thing not for much longer. I have a haircut coming tomorrow. I'm going to get this hopefully done the way I want to. Like I said, I haven't totally decided it. I don't know that I want to go all the way back to super short, which is how I've usually had it most of my life. But this is too long. Like, I don't want this thing. I don't want Doc Brown or whatever. So I'm going to be going to someone who is a professional. It'll be my first actual honest-to-God haircut in literally over a year. Last time I had a real haircut that my wife wasn't doing, on the back porch. Last time I had that was March of 2020. Early March 2020. So it has been over a year since my last actual haircut. And so, oh, nice, CQ, nice. Yeah, I like aspects of this, but it needs to be a little bit, not this much. Like if it was like that and there was a little bit here, I think my wife would really like that too. But as it is right now, it's just like bleh, and I'm like, I do not want the mullet. So I'm getting the haircut tomorrow, which will hopefully put this in. I told everyone what I really want, honestly, is the Stephen Colbert haircut. I don't know if you've all seen, but like the current Stephen Colbert, doing his show from home haircut is like kind of flowy and a little long and cool, but it's not mullety. So that's what I want. I want that if I possibly can get it, but we'll see. But I am actually happy about other stuff that's happened here. I have gotten a lot of pictures put up. I don't know that I can show... I don't know that I can show that or not. Maybe I can. But I got pictures shown. Let me see if I can do that This is going to be a real mistake because I'm about to. There you go. So I don't know if you can see that, but I have here. I have down there two of my Tintin posters. I have the L'Affaire Tournesol, which is the Calculus Affair, and the Scepter d'Ottokar, which is the King Ottokar's scepter. And up here, what you can't see, and I'm really nervous about moving it because I don't want to screw this up, is the Black Island over here, which is amazing. I had that framed. And then right over there, you can see is one of my Don Quixote paintings that I've got over there, and I've got two more that you can't see that are on that side. So I am making we are making progress with actually hanging pictures, which means this streaming space is almost now completely together. We're close. We're close. We're not all the way there, but we're almost completely together. So that's exciting. And yeah, but the thing that I wanted to mention, though, that I wanted to talk about was I just wanted to say a couple of things about, I don't know whether maybe that's really obnoxious. I don't know whether that microphone is obnoxious being in the way like that. Let me go like this. Okay. If I do that, can you folks still hear me, or is that too far away? If I do that, is that way too, do I sound like I'm now speaking from a closet? Or is that all right? What do y'all think? Is that too much like closet or not? Okay. Check 1 2. Closet. Buckle my shoe. How's that? Is that all right? Yeah, it's okay. Okay. Because I want to make sure that I'm able to be. I kind of don't want that microphone sort of sitting right in there. Okay, cool. So yeah. So I want to mention a couple of things here before we get underway with Legacy. First of all, I wanted to mention that for those of you who did not know, Icarus, and I have my new painting up here, which you might be able to see, but if not, I will bring it down. Whoops, maybe that was a mistake. Okay. Damn it. Literally, I pulled it away, and it's like, haha, well, you're not looking. Jerk. Come on, Dungeon Master screen. Throw me a bone here, huh? Okay. So we've got this, which I know I've shown you all before. In case you're wondering, this is one of my favorite scenes, actually, from Icarus, done by Attila Fabio. I love this particular panel because this panel is basically Icarus, Jelinek, and Rig walking towards the camera in this super epic kind of way. He did such a beautiful job with it. It's really amazing art. So the reason I'm showing this to you is that Icarus is not only a finalist in the IBPA independent book of, I did get it framed. Yes, I did finally get it framed, Mrs. Dunsel, and I got it hung, well, stacked, because it made sense to put it right over there. But yes, so not only did oh wait, let me see this Colbert do. Yeah, no, not that. No, not that. Not that do. Definitely not that do. The one that he did after that. The wavy cool one, not the whatever that was. But anyway, so that's funny though. So not only is Icarus a finalist in the Independent Book Publisher Association Awards, which is the IBPA, and it is a finalist, so it means it's going to be either a silver or a gold medalist. It's already a silver medalist, but if it happens to beat out the two other finalists in that category, it will be a gold medalist. We will find that out next month. That's going to be very exciting. But I also found out on Tuesday, Garlic Tofu from Athos Arts announced that Icarus is also a finalist in the Midwest Book Awards, which is part of the Midwest Independent Book Publishers Association, which is kind of like a smaller regional version of IBPA, the Benjamin Franklin Awards. The IBPA is kind of a bigger deal from the way I understand it. It's a bigger organization, basically. But the Midwest one has also been around for a long time, and Icarus is also a finalist in that, where it is up against one other book, which is the other finalist in the category, called Cat Kid, I think it's called. Yeah, so it's also a finalist there, which is great. You know, my hope was that once people started to see this, that they would see it as something which is worthy of awards. Forget about the story, although I worked hard on it and I hope the story is compelling. Like, I don't really need to say anything more, I think, than just to show the quality of that art. I mean, like it's the art is really astonishing. It's really good. And so, just on the basis of the art, the layout, the lettering that was done, Keith DeCandido's script, Chris Suda, who did the lettering and layout, like it's a really good graphic novel, I think. And so the fact that it's gotten that kind of attention is great. So that final is going to be announced in June. So it could be that we won't get anything and it'll just be finalists in both of those categories, and that would still be amazing. Or it may be that we might win one or both, and that would be pretty wild. So we'll find out about IBPA next month. I may even see if I can do like a live watch or something of the ceremony. That would be pretty cool. So that's going to be happening in May. Then in June, we've got the other one, the Midwest Book Awards. And by that point, Icarus, we've got the blurbs for it now, and that we're going to be putting out there. So we're very excited about it. And it's a book that's been through so much from when I first wrote this thing, that it's great it's been really enjoyable to me to see this going, and I hope that this really does some good for us. So that was the first thing I wanted to say, is that I wanted to make that clear if people had not noticed what was happening with Icarus. So that's the deal with that. Now the second bit of news. Bear with me 1 second while I put this back properly. Oh. No. Hold on. We got it messed up. Oh, no, it didn't. Woo! Okay, it recycled. The light beam is set together with magnets, and so... All right, bear with me. This is happening because when they were setting up... so frustrating. I'll explain what happened in a minute if I can get this thing working again. Okay. Why? All right, are you good? Are you stopped? Can I sit down now? Please? Stay. Okay. So what happened, if I can actually get through this explanation, what happened here is that when they were putting up the pictures, yeah, okay. So when they were putting up the pictures, they jarred this, and I was like, because I told them, I'm like, don't move. They're like, oh, no problem. Boink. I was like, and it's finicky when it gets jarred because it means that it has to like basically recycle and do this stuff, and it's a long story. Anyway, so I had to fit it. I hope that means that we'll be okay with this thing. I love the life beam, but I wish that it was a little bit more robust, because if you bump that thing, it's just like, blue. So anyway. Okay, so that was the first announcement, was about that. Second announcement that I wanted to make is about the Damon Runyon Cancer Research Foundation and ARVCon. So some of you may have seen my announcement about this, but I wanted to say that the Damon Runyon is actually really, really behind ARVCon this year. So ARVCon is going to be taking place on Memorial Day weekend in the States, which is May, I believe it is 28th is Friday, 29th Saturday, 30th Sunday, and then the 31st is Monday. It looks, first of all, like Monday is in fact going to be a fourth day for the con. It will be kind of an overtime day. That is the day where I will not be doing stuff, because I can't do stuff like I have to be with my family on Memorial Day, because like otherwise they're going to be like, you're going to be gone the whole weekend. So I usually have to do that. But last year we did a couple of overtime events, and that's actually what we're doing this year as well, or a couple of those same overtime events. So that was all really exciting, and it looks like we are going to do that this year, and I'll have more details about the schedule for that and everything when we get there. Almost all of the companies for ARVCon have re-upped, have recommitted this year. I haven't heard yet from one company. There is another company that's a new one that I reached out to that I don't know about yet. But I've also, and I've heard so far from one of 3 musicians for this concert. So We'll see. No, Hairbrain Schemes jumped right on board immediately. Yeah, Hairbrain Schemes is back on board. So is Tin Man Games, which always supports us. So is Nomad Games, which does the Talisman stuff, the Talisman board game. Pegasus Spiele, which is, of course, our sponsor for Talisman Adventures. They are on board this year, so I'll be making an announcement. Yeah, no, Mitch and Robin are great. I mean, they always jump on board. So they gave us giveaway codes for BattleTech, and so yeah, so that'll be great. So we have those coming along. So I still have a few of those things to happen. And again, we're still a month out. So I always start, reaching out to people about 6 weeks ahead. That's what I did this time. And so that's fine. So what I wanted to mention was that Damon Runyon, though, this time around was very, very on the ball. So they got in touch with me via social media. And I had spoken to them last a couple of years ago with this person and had mentioned that, she's like, oh, this sounds great. And what can we do to help? And I'm like, well, obviously promoting it is helpful, but also having the ability to take PayPal would be a huge deal, because at the time they didn't take PayPal and they didn't take a lot of international donations from stuff. And I was just kind of like, I have international viewers, and like you got to get on the ball here. And last year when we supported the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation, the JDRF was like, I mean, I'm just being honest, it was way, way easier to handle. And manage. They had their own dedicated page. You could do all the stuff. PayPal, international donations was no problem. Like, they were much more, and I know they've been around longer and everything, but it's not like Damon Runyon just showed up yesterday. I mean, they've been around for a long time too. So I don't know. I just found the JDRF thing to be much easier to manage. Well, this year, I mean, Damon Runyon is near and dear to my heart, as you all know, and so I went back to them. And so when they reached out to me this time, I had said a few years ago, hey, the PayPal thing would be great. And they're like, oh, great, we should do that. And then it never happened. So this year when they reached out, I said, listen, I have sitting in my, my like message history with you on Twitter, this thing that I said a couple of years ago. And I'm like, I love your foundation, but honestly, we could use a hand for sure in a couple of ways. The PayPal thing is the big thing. I said, but also having a dedicated page, at least a link that we can give people that doesn't just go to the general page like that. And so not only did they respond immediately, and I actually have been in contact with the actual marketing manager, the entire marketing manager for Damon Runyon, but she also said, we are going to make a dedicated website for this. We are going to have like logos and information. And in fact, there may or may not be a person who was just in this chat who was working on our logo and banner for ARVCon 2021. Hey, what's up, Jay? Yes, GOG is on board. Yep, GOG is on. They will be on board. I don't know what they're doing yet, but they're going to be doing something for sure. And good to see you, Jay. So anyway, so they're going to be, so they said, we're going to do this website thing. We're going to be taking logos and banners. We're going to try to do a running total if we can, but at the very least, we're going to make sure that we have a direct link to do this stuff. And they're going to all through the month of May be promoting this event. So, thank you for the cheer, Jay. I appreciate it, man. So they're going to be doing that as well. Writing an email. Yeah, no, I know. But eventually. But the point is, like, that is all stuff which is really helpful. And they said at the end of it that neither one of them, the person who first reached out to me, who's basically the social media person, and then I assume her boss, who's basically the head of marketing overall for Damon Runyon, neither one of those people was working in last year, or I guess 2 years ago with Damon Runyon. And they said, the person told me, like, we want to say what a great event we think this is. We really appreciate it. And we really have more resources and a desire to help more than we may have in the past. And so I was like, awesome, so that's great. They're really on board. And hopefully that means that we're going to get even more attention. So ARVCon is coming together. I'm excited about it. And next month's going to be busy between finding out about the situation with Icarus. I have Three Rivers Comic Con that it looks like is going to be my first in-person event in over a year. It's going to be completely outdoors. It's one day only. And I'm going to be masked and all that, but I'm fully vaccinated. And this is what I'm doing this for. One of the reasons I'm getting vaccinated is so I can start doing this thing like going to cons. I am not going to stay in my house in a bunker for the rest of my life. I'm not going to do it. So I'm going to be doing that. That's going to be happening in May. And then obviously we have ARVCon, which is happening at the end of May. And then in June, we have hopefully this Midwest Book Award thing comes through. And then, we'll kind of play things out from there. By then, Gray Shade should become close to being out, if not out by then. And then, of course, when we hit the fall, we've got Origins. The Origins library is still going to be going on. Origins has been rescheduled this year to the end of September. So that looks very much like that's going to happen. And I am the co-coordinator along with Aaron Rosenberg and John Helfers of the Origins library. So I expect to be back at that. I am looking forward to trying to get to WorldCon, DisCon, WorldCon in Washington, D.C. in December. So, start kind of ramping up towards normalcy. So yeah, there's a lot going on, but I wanted to mention those things because I am very, ArvCon's very personally important to me. I think it's one of the best events that we do on this channel because it shows, the best parts of who we are on this channel and what the Arvanauts are all about. And so, yeah, that's what's up with that. So yeah, that's the deal. Quick note on schedule. Tomorrow we're off. Friday, we will be back with the last stream of the month, and that is going to be Rebel Crown, which is a Speculate Twitch event in which yours truly will be playing Venner Crace, the Vengeant. And then Saturday is going to be May 1st, and that will be So Neverwinter Nights 2 Complete. And I have no idea what we're doing after that because haven't thought about the schedule yet. Because taking a couple days off because I'm on sabbatical and I just got done with my revisions. So that's the deal with that. So anyway, that's what's going on with life and stuff and the channel. So all very exciting. And so that means it is time for wabam, the Legacy of Dragonholt. Legacy of Dragonholt, which at the moment looks to be slightly off center. Let me put this like this. Wait, hold on. Yes. Haha. Yes, indeed. And now I will lower you slightly. Also, this exciting set of napkins. I know you're truly excited by that. Okay. And how about I actually move this over here? How about that? And while we're at it, how about we also pull up ArvBot Plus, brought to us by Effect Life. And you can see that is there. All right, let's do it, people. So for those of you who have not been with me before and have not seen this before, you are in for a treat. Legacy of Dragonholt is a cooperative board game that we are playing collectively here with our character Harriet, who is a Hurinx catfolk, a wildlander, 26, female, who has got awareness, agility, stealth, athletics, survival, archery, and brawling, has 1 experience, has had items come and go, but at the moment has 3 healing potions, a map of Dragonholt, a strange mushroom, a war rune, and a polished shell. Is reckless, almost manic at times, rapidly talkative, mostly to herself. Self-reliance is critical. She loves a challenge as long as it's fair. Merry chase is stimulating and fun, wants to even the odds. She is not particularly... she doesn't think things through always. I mean, she's certainly not an idiot, not a fool, but she doesn't always, quite process things in the way you would hope, not always. And we are here because we're trying to figure out the threat to Lady Fairfax, who it is believed is under threat, basically. Under threat from someone who wants to kill her and her heirs. We don't know all the details yet, but that's basically what we're looking at. So that's what we've got. And we've done a lot of stuff over the last few sessions with Harriet. And this is Dragonholt. Now, I do want to mention that last time we did not have a chance to get to the spot we were going to wrap up. But we were planning on going to these dragon statues. And that's actually where we're going to start, is the dragon statues, before I start giving choices, because we did say that that's where we wanted to go as chat. And the dragon statues will get us started on this quest that we are on. We are, speaking of that, right here. Visit dragon statues to start the search for Philip, who is missing. Philip is... I forget who Philip is. Philip is his son? Somebody's son? Who's missing? Maybe? I don't fully recall, actually, who the heck Philip is. Trust me, he's incredibly important, and I have no doubt we will remember completely everything that he is all about sooner rather than later. I just don't remember exactly. But anyway, We've got this strange mushroom. And we've got this healing potion. Okay. And yeah, and I think... Oh, I just need a pen. Bear with me. I do need a pen. A pen. A pen. A pen. All right. Let's make it happen. Okay, so we're going to start with these dragon statues, and then we will bring chat in after that. So, also it is, as we speak, day 3. It's day 3 of our time in the village. So there's also that, and we are going, as I mentioned, here. The line must be drawn here. Oh, and we need some music. Oh, awesome, Shadowed. Yeah, thanks, man. I hope that I think these people they seem very serious about wanting to help with things. So I'm hoping that will do some good for us, because they are definitely not trying to kind of I don't get the impression that they're trying to screw around. So hey, what's up, Coven? Right. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, like, they seemed very fired up about the prospect. So I was like, you know what? That's cool. I'm happy to have you work with us. Also, Coven, you got a new computer ship today. Congratulations, man. What are the deets? Tell us the deets. Also, how loud is that, chat? Is that too loud? Does it need to come up or go down? Too loud. How about that? Better? How's that? Good now? Good, yes? Okay, cool. Lovely. All right, let me just copy over one thing. Okay. Okay. What? Okay, how about that's not at all what I asked you to do? Let's try that again. Can you please bring it over in exactly the order that I gave it to you? Much better. Okay, good. Lovely. All right, good. Okay, here we go. Dragonholt Village. And the dragon statues. Okay. 2 massive dragon statues tower over the western road like an archway. One statue is carved from black stone, the other from white, and they are positioned to look as if they are dueling. The statues are the closest thing Dragonholt has to a town gate. Alright, if it is day 3 and story point A4 is marked. Alright, it is day 3. Let's see if story point A4 is marked. We got a lot of story points at this point, chat. A4 is not marked. Okay, so day 3, story point A4 is not marked. So read 9978. No, Netowin set up Arvbot. Effect Life is the person who set up Arvbot Plus. Here we go. Yes, my love. Okay, let me just, I'll come down and tuck in, baby. Okay, so give me 1 sec, chat. Just going to tuck in little Arv. Be right back in 1 second. Enjoy the music. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. All right. Okay, so, right, where was I? Oh, yes. Right, so, part 3, blah, 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 blah. Right. You pass beneath the twin dragon statues and begin your hike toward Eventide Forest. You turn back once as you go, in time to see a cloud pass across the sun and cast the statues into shadow, dramatically. Okay, if 5 or more time has passed today, it has not. So, that means this encounter is complete. Read entry 1005 in the Whispering Leaves quest book. Oh, chat. All right. We got ourselves a new quest, people. And here it is. Whispering Leaves. The quest to find Philip. The search for Philip. Whispering Leaves. Ryzen 3900, 32 gig, Radeon RTX 6712. Wow, it's a beefy card. Main drive, ITB Corsair, SSD, secondary blue SSD. Nice, dude. Congratulations, that's awesome. It looks good. Sounds good. Oh, okay, and of course, I have to make a photocopy of Whispering Leaves, so give me just a second to do that. So we have that ready to go. Copy. Color. Let's do it. Because we need to make sure that we mark down where we're going within this environment. We need to do that. So that's why. I think actually this is a little too far over now that I'm looking at it. Okay. Is that better? I think so. Alright, photocopy's coming. Yeah, it says there's 7 days here, and we're closing in on being halfway done through it. We also have, we're almost up all the way on heroism. We have 1 point left to go on combat training, at which point we can use our experience to get another skill. We are pretty well into academic study because we spent most of day 2 in the library, basically. So we got that to deal with. And then we got our physical training going on as well. So we got a lot of stuff going on. But, all right, now we can put that aside. And we can move to the Whispering Leaves tracking sheet. And I can put away the map for the moment. Because we do not need it. Okay, I'm going to put that out there because it'll make it easier. I said it was a beefy machine. I said it sounded like a beefy machine. It was a beefy card, graphics card, and I said it was awesome. And I was glad to hear that was the case. That was all I said. Not particularly exciting thing for me to say. But yeah, no, it's awesome, man. That's great. Okay, Whispering Leaves, let's do it. The search for Philip. Let's make it happen. Okay, tracking sheets. Each quest book has its own tracking sheet that can be found on the back cover of the book, yada, yada, yada. Yeah, I know, I've already got it. Thank you, game. You trek west along the road from Dragonholt, passing through the orchards and rocky plains until you reach the edge of Eventide Forest. You follow the main road. Oh, financed at 4.5% APR. That's awesome. You follow the main road on a long loop around the steep cliff face that forms one border of the forest, trading time for a better chance of finding some sign of Philip. No one on horseback would have taken the direct path. 2 time passes for each time that has passed today, as recorded on the Dragonholt Village tracking sheet. What? Okay, wait. 2 time passes for each time that passed today. Okay, well, so 1, 2, 3. So basically, 6 time has passed. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have up to 16 time, but we probably don't want to waste too much time if we're actually trying to rescue this dude. So I want to take it easy. Ooh, nice. I mean, well, I will say this, you know, Shadow, when I was talking to them, they didn't balk when I said, you know, hey, listen, you know, the PayPal thing, like they were like, not only did they not balk, but they immediately did it. Like literally the next day, they're like, here's the link for the PayPal. I'm like, oh. And then they were like, you know, we have a lot more resources to support this now, and we really think it's important to do it. So, and then they got in contact and were like, so here's the marketing manager of the whole place, you know, blah 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 blah. So, I mean, I know that they can't promise the moon. I don't know. I don't work for them, but they certainly seemed way more invested in it this time around. Not that they, again, and I don't want to put this the wrong way. Damon Runyon's main goal should be to raise money and to support researchers in cancer research. Like I'm a channel, I'm one person, right? Like we are one community. But it was really noticeable to me last year how much better the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation experience was just in terms of the ease of support. Like it just made it a lot easier. So having them, having JDRF be, having DRCRF be much more into it this year was really cool. So again, I can't promise except to say that so far I haven't said anything to them that they were like, what? No, absolutely can't. So we'll see how that goes. Okay. After perhaps an hour of travel, you come across your first sign that something might be amiss. A normally gentle brook is swollen far beyond its banks. Philip's path would have crossed the stream at a ford here, but there's no sign of the path under the churning brown waters. Some 100 paces downstream, you can see a tangle of roots and boughs, perhaps from where the flooding knocked down a tree. Now, one thing that's important to remember, by the way, in case you're curious, is that Philip is one of the children of Lady Fairfax. One of the children of Lady Fairfax, Sonia, whose journal we have read already right here, is already died under mysterious circumstances. So that already happened. So the sense is that someone is out to get this family. And basically we have to figure out what the hell's going on and why someone wants to take down the Fairfaxes. So Philip is one of them. So that's why we're out here looking for them, because he's overdue to come back. He went on a horse with his manservant Talbot, okay? And all they know is that he was in this forest that they went to. So we have three choices here, chat. Please tell me what you want to do in chat. We can attempt to cross the stream here. We can look for a safer way across, or we can examine the area for any sign of Philip and Talbot. Now, the good news about this is that we do have awareness, because it says time passes unless you have awareness or survival. So we have both. So we could do this basically for free. So the choice, yes, Philip was the brother who was nice to Sonia. Yes, exactly, Triffid. There's no map for this. No, there's no map. But Mrs. Dunsel, we're in the forest now. So we left the map behind. So they didn't give me a map for this one. So you can either cross the stream. So what it says is this bank is basically this gentle brook has got tons of water rushing through it. So we can either cross the stream here, we can look for a safer way across, or we can examine the area for any sign of Philip and Talbot. The other thing we could do if we had ice runes is we could forge a bridge of ice, but we don't have ice runes, so we can't do that. So those are the choices. So examine the area for Philip and Talbot, attempt to cross the stream here, or look for a safer way across. Okay, CQ says examine area. Craigery says examine. What's up, Craigery? Craigery, just so you know, I may be at some point coming to you, sir, for your expertise. I may ask you as a support person on the website side of things for ARVCon. It turns out that, as you may have heard, the Damon Runyon Cancer Research Foundation is putting together their own website for this. And so, I don't know how many bells and whistles it has, but it is a site from them directly. So we don't need our own site, but like sort of general consultation and being like, hey, this is how you do this, not only because of your website prowess, but because of the whole, this whole fundraiser thing, would be appreciated. So I'm letting you know that may or may not be something we come to you for later. Okay, cool. Thank you. I appreciate that. As usual, look when a free action. Doubtfully we're missing look for safer path. Okay, so not examine. Okay, so we have examine. And Triffid says look for a safer path. Okay, 3 examines, 1 look for a safer path. Anyone else want to jump on board here? What say you all? Anyone? Examining the area going once. Examining the area going twice. Okay. We're going to examine the area, but it will not take time because we have survival and examine. ArvCon is Memorial Day weekend as usual, Coven. It's May 28th, 29th, and 30th, with the possibility of the 31st, Monday, being an ArvCon extra day. That looks very likely, actually. I've had a couple of people who've reached out to me that are going to be doing stuff, that want to do stuff on that day, which is great, obviously. I'm happy for that. So yeah, that's when it's looking like. If you check the mod channel on Discord, Coven, you'll see I posted some more details about it. Okay, so awareness. So yes, read entry 8830. This time I'm not going to forget to do this. So 1005, and now 8830. Yep. Yeah, I could use all the help that we can get on those days. Especially if, look, I don't know, but if Damon Runyon really puts a lot of effort into this, we may get a real good turnout. I'm hoping we do, obviously. And if that's the case, then, you know, mod presence would be the best mod in the business presence, which is all of you people, would be appreciated. Okay. You look around carefully and you find clear hoof marks. 2 horses passed this way yesterday morning and then came back later in the evening. But the hoof prints moving toward Eventide Forest are deeper, in the ground I assume, than the ones coming back. Interesting. The trail plunges directly into the tumultuous stream here. This is where Philip crossed, but the water looks rather dangerous after the recent rains. So, do we ford the stream here, or do we look for another way across, chat? Ford the stream here or look for another way across? Right, that would be my guess, Triffid. That's how I would read it. The classic Beauty and the Beast, right? Horse goes off, gets spooked, ends up heading back. Alright, Triffid says Ford here, Shadow Mage says Ford here. Actually, it just struck me that... Oh, man. I should not be doing tavern music. We are in a forest. Literally, we are in a forest. So we should not be using tavern music. We should, in fact, be using forest music. Also, Greenforge. Okay, Ford. So find another way across. 4441. Oh, shoot, Shadowed. Sorry, dude. Okay. 8830. Okay, so attempt to ford the stream here. Let's do it. Okay. You grit your teeth and step into the churning water. The water is deeper than you thought and the current stronger. You lose your footing and stagger into stones and drowning trees, standing at what should be the edge of the stream. You lose 1 stamina. You lose 2 additional stamina unless you have athletics, endurance, or survival. Well, I have all 3 of them, so... But that means that we are currently sitting at 13 stamina. Not a big deal. We only lost 1 stamina there. You pull yourself dripping onto the far shore and collapse for a brief rest. You squeeze as much water as you can from your clothes and check to make sure none of your gear was damaged. Then you press on toward the Tree of Tales. Time passes. Okay. Time passes, and we're going to 9792. Oh! It's Law D... Is that It's Law? Monthly resub again? Good to see you, Law. What's up, man? I couldn't recognize that name at first. Thank you, Law. It's Law DBD subscribed to Tier 1. Good to see you, dude. Thank you, man. I hope all is well. I hope everything is okay with you. I appreciate you stopping by, man. And I've actually met Law face to face. I've actually met Law, who lived in California at the time, and I still haven't met Rob face to face. I gotta get that. I mean, I love the fact that I lived in New York for over a decade. No, longer than that. I lived in New York, 17 years I lived in New York, and not once have I met Rob face to face. I mean, just like, good grief. Thank you so much, though, Law. I appreciate that, dude, very much. The 7 months, the Tier 1 sub, thank you. Thank you, sir. I hope all is well. And yeah, we'll definitely see you again. Okay, so... I did that, and it is 97.92. And Polar, wow, and another one does not bite the dust, but joins us. Thanks a lot, Polar. I appreciate it, dude. Welcome, welcome. The subscription at Tier 1, 14 months. Good to see you, Polar. How you doing, man? Always appreciate having Polar here, and Law, of course, who have been with me for a very long time. It's always good to see Polar. How you doing, man? Welcome, welcome. I'm a better friend than Rob. Well, you're a more present friend. No, I mean, listen. Rob has his own, has his life. I just got to do it. Just getting by. Well, I hope that's in a good way. If you're not getting by as well as you'd hope, I hope that we today can make that more like it. And if not, then, I hope we can turn things around. And if so, I hope it's okay. And Coven with the Prime sub. I will not be shown up by these resubs. Thank you for the Prime sub, dude, the 14 months. Thank you all so much, everybody, for the subs. I appreciate it. Subs and resubs, I appreciate that very much. That's great. Some of that is going to be used for various endeavors and things and activities. So thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you to Law. Thank you to Polar. Thank you to Coven of Lenara. Thank you, everybody. You are all lovely people. Okay, 9790, right. You hike for a while deeper into the forest until the trees part and reveal a sun-drenched clearing. The Tree of Tales rises up above the clearing just as it did before. The wind rustles the leaves and the forest whispers, sharing stories. The hype train. Oh, we got a hype train going on? Ah, with the 10 cheer from Shadowed Mage. That's right, I can't see the hype train when it's happening. All right, I need to pull up the... Hold on a second. Let me pull up the screen and see this hype thing. Let's see the hype. 94% to a level 2 hype, huh? We're at level 1, we're at 94%. The hype continues. That's pretty sweet. I will happily take that as we move having a hype train there. Craigery with a 45 cheer. Thank you, Craigery. Hey, I found these. 97%. What's this room? Oh, yeah, Polar, you haven't seen this? That's right. This is my new space, man. This is my new space. I moved. So this is my new streaming space and office. That's normally what it looks like. I would be shaped over... Normally, I'd be over here, basically. I'd be over on that side, usually. But, yeah, I moved around here because of where I am. So, yeah, this place is amazing. I am just, continually kind of shocked, frankly, that I ended up in a place this awesome. It's really great. The family is happy with it, and yeah, there's adjustments to it, of course, but yeah, like it's so awesome. It's great. So yeah, that's what this room is, and I've obviously got my setup that I can do occasionally for the board game setup right here, so I'm excited about that. Oh, I went ASMR. Welcome, chat. Oh man. Oh, an anonymous user has gifted a tier 1 sub. Has gifted a tier 1 sub to Dexterous Chris. Thank you. Okay, sounds good, Coven. Thank you so much, anonymous gifter. Thank you so much. We are at hype level 2. Always love anonymous gifter. One of my favorite people. Shows up in all the different streams. Always appreciate whoever they are. So we're 25% along the way in our level 2 hype train. Thank you so much, anonymous user. Thank you. And welcome, Dexterous Chris, to the community. Welcome to the Arvanauts. Okay, so where was I? Yes, the Tree of Tales. Blah, 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 blah. Right, Tree of Tales, just as it did. Right, okay. The sun blazes high in the sky, and crickets drone ceaselessly. The clearing throngs with the noisy silence of Allerfelt, nature bursting with life beneath the late summer sun. If story point A4 is marked, and it is not marked, so that means we read entry 1263. 1263. You look over the clearing for obvious signs of Philip or his manservant cum bodyguard, Talbot. The clearing is ringed by a handful of paths, each stretching out into the forest. Within moments, your eyes fall upon something large and dark. Your breath catches in your throat as you realize it's a corpse, a human man in Lady Regina's livery. Talbot. Dun dun dun. Talbot. Dun dun dun. Talbot. Oh, man. Talbot. Talbot! Yeah, exactly. They are. There's two ways to do it. One way is to use this thing called like Lumia something or other. The reason I don't like it is it skeezes me out a little bit because it requires that it has to be memory resident in your computer all the time, and like all this stuff, and you have to give it all this access to stuff, and I'm like, I don't know. And the other way is to set up something with if this then that, which also is a little skeezy but not as much. And the problem is that if this then that works, but it's just slow. So you're going to see this thing is going to flash randomly probably about 5 minutes from now, which is not so hot. I really like the LifeX Beam in a lot of ways, but I would love it if there was a system that would be easier to rig to make the lights directly connected to what goes on stream, to integrate basically. I would love to be able to do that. The other problem is that the second part of my setup is I have a cheap floodlight, basically, RGB floodlight, that is shining on the white wall behind these shelves, and that's what gives the fill. So the light beam is the cool, like, on top sort of thing, but then I've got the fill light behind it, which uses this remote right here, which is, like, as you can tell, very cheap, right? But it works, and I think it's great, and it does exactly what I want it to, but that would not flash at the same time. So, having said that, I'm still continuing to make adjustments and connections and all that, but I'm digging it nonetheless. So, all right, on we go. We've just found the body of Talbot. Can even our level 2 hype train, which is only 25% complete, 75% to get to level 3 hype, can even our level 2 hype train sustain with the body of Talbot? We will see. You crouch down to examine the body and realize that you were wrong. Dun 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 dun. The man is still breathing. Talbot is not dead. Just barely, and his eyes snap open with a crazed stare. The young master, breathes Talbot. Each breath burbles in his throat as if through water. The arrows protruding from his chest rise and fall as he reaches for you with a fumbling hand. I would have gone with you, my brother, my captain, my king. They will seek him in the White Tower. No, it's not actually Boromir. I'm just kidding. That Boromir stuff didn't happen. What did happen, though, the arrows protruding from his chest rise and fall as he reaches for you with a fumbling hand. Bandits, they came, he wheezes, out of the forest. His free hand motioning in a vaguely western direction. Their leader wanted Philip alive. I drew my sword, but too slow. Tell your ladyship. Talbot lapses into silence, lies back, and breathes no more. There is nothing you could have done. His wounds were too severe and too old to be mended by healing potions. You respectfully close the man's eyes and resolve to notify Lady Regina and the village guard after finding Philip. Now Talbot actually is dead. Alright, so we have two choices, chat. We can either search the clearing for more clues, or examine the paths for tracks. Both of these would require time unless we had awareness and survival, but we have both. So either one of them works. So we can either search the clearing or examine the paths. What do we do? Search the clearing or examine the paths? This was my emote. That was my emote that we got. Thanks for the hype train, everybody. Thank you, thank you. Clearing now, paths later. Okay, search, search, search. Okay, so we're looking at clearing now. Okay, so 9566. Okay, as you approach the tree, you see a modest leather satchel propped against the trunk. You crouch down to examine it, and soon conclude it must belong to Philip, as it contains a small leather-bound book emblazoned with his house's heraldry. It also holds an uneaten meal of apples, sausages, and cheese, a penknife, pen and ink, and other odds and ends. As you straighten from the satchel, you find an arrow embedded in the trunk of the great oak. You pull the arrow free and find that the wound in the tree looks fresh, the wood is shining white. The arrow is fletched with gray goose feathers and seems well made. So, we can examine the paths for tracks. We can climb the tree in search of other clues. That requires athletics, but we have that. We do not have the ability to commune with the spirits of Eventide Forest because that requires devotion, which we do not have. Or we could read through Philip's journal. If we do that, time is going to pass, but we may need to do that anyway. I mean, like, time is going to pass sometimes. Sometimes we need to do what we need to do. So, but we also could climb the tree. So we could examine the paths for tracks. We could climb the tree to search for other clues because we have athletics. Or we can read through Philip's journal. What do you want to do? It's going to be too... I think Talbot said the bandits took him, CQ, so I don't think so. But I wish, right? It would be so easy. Like, Philip was just like, I was here all along. All right, Miss Dunsel says journal. CQ says climb. I've got one for journal, one for climb. Journal, journal. All right, journal, journal, journal. 3 journals, 1 climb. 3 journals, 1 climb going once. 3 journals, 1 climb going twice. And Triffid also puts the classic journal up there, hype book. 4 journals, 1 climb. All right, journal it is. So time passes. And we go to 2446. Okay. You flip through Philip's book. It seems to be a diary in which the youth has also written a great deal of poetry. Some of it is actually quite good. Near the end of the book, the tone of the poetry shifts radically, becoming much darker and tinged with melancholy. The last page is missing, leaving a ragged, torn edge behind. The last poem before the missing page paints a perfumed fop who is limp as a silk handkerchief in an unflattering light, describing the character as a snake in human skin. It also has some choice words about someone who lies with beasts and is infested with a madness most foul. Both characters are placed in a position of cruel ambush regarding the poem's heroine, who dies most foully and by unseen hand. I wonder if that's relating to his sister, because his sister died in mysterious circumstances. I wonder if that's what he's talking about. So you can either examine the paths for tracks or climb the tree in search of other clues. It's the emo goth stage, yeah. He was a younger, I think he's like 15 maybe? 14, 15? So yeah, examine the paths for tracks or climb the tree. Yeah, definitely seems like a noble in particular. I don't know why he would know this, though, CQ, and not have told anybody, but yeah, it is possible. All right, we've got the tree. We've got climb the tree, climb the tree, climb the three climb trees. Four climb trees. Maybe. Maybe. It's possible. I mean, his sister, I remember Sonia said in her journal that Philip was always writing poetry and like always writing in his book and all that stuff. So seems like quite possible. Entirely possible that could be the case. Okay. All right, looks like we are climbing the tree. We are shaking the tree. Okay. 62. Okay. 8962. Okay. You haul yourself up into the branches, examining the statuettes, talismans, fluttering papers, and other adornments as you go. Before long, you find a fresh-looking scrap of paper tucked into a crack in the tree's bark. You pull it out and smooth it against the trunk, revealing a heartfelt and rather well-written eulogy for Sonia, that's his sister. On a second sheet of parchment, Philip blames himself for her death and pleads for Sonia's forgiveness. The paper is stained where drops of water have fallen. You discover that Philip was meant to be riding with Sonia on the morning she fell, but Timothy had caught Philip and was lecturing him about learning the genealogies of the local noble families. Philip believes if he had been with her, Sonia might have survived. Tucking the pages back where you found them, you resume your climb into the upper branches. You lose 1 stamina. Okay. From above, the forest stretches out around you, a sea of shifting and murmuring green. Aside from a smudge of smoke on the horizon on the northwest, you see nothing that would indicate where Philip has been taken. You return to the ground and check for signs of passage on the trails leading northwest away from the Tree of Tales. Along one path, a number of branches have been broken, and you discover heavy footprints. Aha. It's 32:43. You follow the trail northwest into the forest. Before very long, you find a silk handkerchief in the center of the trail. It looks like it's been trod into the mud, but when you smooth it out, you see it has an elegant P embroidered into one corner. Time passes. All right. Starting to get a little worried about this time situation now. The path turns to the north and follows along a winding brook. Upstream, the brook widens into a cliffside pond fed by a small but vigorous waterfall. The path winds around and up to a series of rocky cliffs and scrub-clad slopes. The pond and waterfall are surrounded by a moss-carpeted glade beneath a canopy of trees thick with hanging vines. As you approach the pond, you hear shouting and crude laughter dimly from the direction of the waterfall. Someone is coming. In just moments, they'll be in full view. Okay, now we can either hide nearby, prepare to ambush the approaching bandits, or pretend to be a bandit. Now remember, Harriet's thing, right? Harriet is somewhat impulsive. She does, I believe, have stealth, so she can like sneak up on people. But I don't know about pretending to be a bandit. I don't think deception is her thing. But in any case, so you can hide nearby, prepare to ambush the approaching bandits, or pretend to be a bandit. Attack! Alright, so Mrs. Dunsel is in favor of the ambush. Hide, see if they have the boy. Okay, so we have hide, hide. So we have 1 ambush and 2 hides. 1 ambush and 2 hides. One ambush and 2 hides. 3 hides, okay. 1 ambush and 3 hides. Two ambush and 3 hide. All right. 2 ambush, 3 hide going once. 2 ambush, 3 hide going twice. And 2 ambush, 3 hide. Okay. Hide is the winner. Okay. 59.99. Okay. You move off to the side of the path, hiding in the undergrowth. After a few moments, you see humanoid silhouettes behind the waterfall, and 2 human women emerge through the curtain of falling water. One carries an axe, the other has a bow slung over her shoulder. The women stop beside the pond, and the archer produces a pipe and begins to dig in a belt pouch. The axe-wielding bandit scans the glade with a discerning eye, watching for any signs of danger. If you have stealth or survival, well, we have both, so... Okay, 16:15. The woman's gaze falls on your hiding spot. She squints and tilts her head as if analyzing what she is seeing, then turns her attention to her companion. "I don't smoke too long, Gray. Carrick will throw another tantrum if he thinks we're not patrolling like he asked." "Ah, to hell with Carrick and his new toy," said the archer. She packs some tobacco into her pipe, lights it, and takes a draw. "What does he want with the kid, anyway? Kidnapping a noble brat seems like a surefire way to bring the guard down on us." "Oh, the family clearly has money. Maybe he thinks he can ransom the boy, responds the larger woman with the axe. The archer takes a long draw on her pipe. Nah, she says, before exiling 2 streams of silky gray smoke through her nose. I heard him shouting at the king about rights or something. Threatened to kill him, Kavi. No ransom for a dead brat. The larger woman shifts her weight. Who knows why that posh bastard does anything, she mutters. Come on, we need to patrol and report back. You wait until they follow the path downstream and out of sight. Then you leave your hiding spot and make your way cautiously to the waterfall. Now, Kirik, remember, is the uncle who claims the throne of Dragonholt and basically says that the person who has it, his sister, is a half-sister and is illegitimate, and was trying to convince Sonia to go along with it until this happened. So, if it's the same Kirik we're talking about, time passes. Read entry 9949. Okay. You pass under the waterfall where a trail runs against a spray-slick rock face and then through a narrow gap in the rock. The sound of the rushing water echoes and twists around you as you descend, then climb again, and soon emerge into a narrow valley. The valley is a rolling field of tall grass and wildflowers flanked by steep rocky slopes draped with leafy vines. At the far end of the valley stands a crumbling stone tower ringed by a low fieldstone wall. Both the tower and wall are spotted with patchy gray-green lichen. Trees grow along the valley's ridge, branches and vines hanging over the edge above the tower's roof. A low mist still lingers in the valley where the sun hasn't yet burned it away. Standing stones and thick brush run along the valley's edge on your right. About halfway between you and the tower, a vine-choked aqueduct brings a trickle of water into the valley, feeding a still pool where a modest herd of goats is grazing. Story point Z4 is marked. It is not, so read entry 2722. Several bandits idle in a collection of tents and lean-tos not far from the tower, watching the goats and apparently napping. More bandits lounge by the tower's only door, clearly on guard. They don't seem to be extremely alert to infiltrators. Okay, so 2 choices. We can either fight our way to the tower, or we can sneak along the edge of the valley. Well, kind of this much, Polar, basically. I mean, I don't know, but like, that's how much time. I think it's 16 squares, and we've already marked off 10 of them. So we have used up a lot of our time, for whatever that's worth. So yeah, do we fight our way to the tower, or do we sneak along the edge of the valley? Yeah. Sneak, 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 attack! So we have 4 sneaks and 1 attack. 5 sneaks. Hey, Blackberry Bear. 5 sneaks and 1 attack. Alright, going once. 5 sneaks, 1 attack, going twice. Alright. Sneak it is. Alright, 92, 95. Okay. You duck to the right and take cover behind a weathered gray standing stone. None of the bandits seem to have seen you, so you carefully rush from there to a thicket of what seems to be blackberries, but not Blackberry Bear, and then to another tall stone. What's going on, Nonstop? Yeah, it's not clear. A few, I think. Moving from cover to cover, you pick your way along the edge of the valley. And the sun is somewhere behind the valley's walls, leaving you in chill, mist-shrouded shadows as you move like a ghost. You pause beneath the crumbling aqueduct, peering out of the valley and taking stock of the situation. Suddenly you hear movement behind you. You reach for your weapon as something comes through the brush, but it's just a goat. The goat bleats, "Meh," and bounds past you, down towards the pond at the end of the aqueduct. There it joins several of its fellows. You spy several bandits moving about the valley, some headed for the waterfall and others standing guard at the tower, but you see no indication that they've spotted you yet. Story point Z4 is marked, and it is still not marked, any more than it was last time I looked. So read entry 2360. Okay. Creeping past the aqueduct brings you close to the edge of the pool it feeds and its grazing goats. One of the goats, the same one that startled you earlier, you would guess, comes trotting toward you, bleeding and flicking its stubby tail. As you try to quietly shoo the beast away, it nibbles at your gear with its dexterous lips, murmuring in its goaty way. Murmuring? Okay. Soon another goat approaches, then a third. The entire herd is starting to notice your presence, bleeding for food. Oh, that's bad. The bandits would have to be very stupid indeed not to find you with all this caprine attention. All right, chat, so we can attempt to sneak past the goats, we can feed the goats, or we can startle the goats and cause a panic. So sneak, feed, or startle. Oh, goodness. We have a goat army. We have a goat army, and we're going to milk it for all it's worth. I mean, we're going to cheese out this fight. Okay, so startle. What's it going to be, chat? So again, we have sneak past, we have feed the goats, or we have startle them and cause a panic. Startle, feed. You can wipe out any land's crops, that's true. Startle, feed, 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 feed. 1 startle, 4 feed. Okay, 1 startle, 4 feed going once. Goat equals food. Feed on the goat, yes. 1 startle, 4 feed going twice. And, all right, we are going to feed the goats. 47. Okay. The goats crowd around as you rummage for something, anything edible to give them. One nibbles on your belt. Another seems very interested in your pack. A third is chewing on a bit of rope. How did she get her lips on that? That was packed away. In any case, the goats are only getting louder and more insistent as you try to find something to satisfy them while you creep away. If you have survival, and we do indeed have survival. Goats are infamous for their ability to eat anything, but you know better. Goats will nibble on anything, but are actually quite picky eaters. Fortunately, you have some seed cake in your pack, along with some wild carrots that you collected along the trail, both of which the goats seem quite happy with. As word, or rather bleeding, spreads of what you have, the goats mob you, so you gather up the delicious treats and heave them over the mass of goats back toward the pond. The goats trample away from you, knocking each other away with their horns and generally ignoring you completely, except for one brown and white goat who pauses to look back and bleat. With the goats distracted, you pick your way carefully toward the tower. As you do, you see a number of bandits gathering by the pool, apparently perplexed by the goats' behavior, but none of them look in your direction. Woo! Close one. 487. Okay. Soon enough, you find yourself lurking beside the tower. No one has seen you. The town is guarded by the door is guarded by 3 bandits. There's no way you'll be able to sneak past them. The tower wall is partially collapsed, and you can see into one of the tower's upper levels. The walls are lush with vines that might be sturdy enough to hold your weight. Okay, you can lure the guards into a trap. You can approach the door and pretend to be a bandit, or you can climb the outside of the tower. So, lure the guards into a trap, approach the door, pretend to be a bandit, or climb the outside of the tower. Trap? Okay. Oh, excuse me. Trap, trap. 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 Oh, some people are enamored of this trap idea, huh? Okay. Blah, 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 blah. All right, looks like we're going with trap. Read entry 75, 64. Okay. You stand in a hollow behind the fieldstone wall. Haven't killed anything in a while. Yeah, exactly. Are we good at making traps? Well, we're luring them into a trap, not necessarily making a trap. We're luring them into a trap. So, you stand in a hollow behind the fieldstone wall, out of the sight of the rest of the valley, and prepare your ambush. You gather a handful of stones and fling them one by one at the tower wall, each stone sounding a sharp pock in the still air. After a few moments, a lanky human pokes his head around the tower wall, looking for the source of the noise. If you have military, which we do not, or stealth, which we do have stealth. Okay. You hunker back to your in your cover, then toss another stone closer to you. The lanky human wanders into your ambush, and you strike from behind, clapping a hand over his mouth and wrapping an arm around his throat. He kicks, struggles, and then goes still as the second bandit approaches. "Peter?" she calls, drawing a knife. You scramble back to cover, timing your attack for the moment the gnome woman spots her fallen comrade. It's almost too late. She spins and lashes out with her dagger, but you knock it aside and clobber her over the head. She crumples next to her companion. The third bandit is overconfident and ambles idly into your trap almost before the gnome has hit the dirt. "What's going on, you idiot?" he sneers, and then hisses, "Oh, Shard," as you step out of your hiding place and fell him with a single swing. He gets his sword halfway out of its scabbard before pitching face first atop both of his companions. You drag all three of the bandits out of sight behind some bushes, then head for the tower door. Okay, time passes. 437. They were shown what for? Yes, they were. Okay. 4387. The ground floor of the tower is seemingly two semicircular rooms. This room is lit by tall, narrow windows. A stone stairway winds up the external wall to your left. Aside from a few empty baskets, the room is devoid of furnishings. In the middle of the central wall is a door that must lead into the other half of the ground floor. The door is made of sturdy wood, but you see no immediate signs that it is locked. Alright, chat, do we examine the doorway or climb the stairs? We did make a pyramid. Examine the stairway or examine the doorway or do we climb the stairs? Right, exactly. Oh, doorway, okay. You can examine the doorway, Polar, or you can climb the stairs. Examine the doorway or climb the stairs. Alright, so we've got door. We've got stairs, 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 door. So we've got 2 for doors, 3 for doors now, 3 for doors, 3 for stairs. 3 for door, 3 for stairs. All right, we're tied up here, folks. 3 for stairs, 3 for examine. I think. Wait a minute. Yeah, because of Trifity Mats. Yep. So 3 door, 3 stairs. I need someone to break this tie. Either to change your vote or to stand up and be counted for the first time. Fight music now instead of forest. This is a door to another room on some level. Change to door. Okay. It's not necessarily fight music yet. I don't think it is. I don't think we've got into a combat yet necessarily. So, yeah. Not yet, but coming soon. Okay. So examine the doorway. Looks like it's going to win. Okay. 42, 26. You creep up to the door. Its wood is old and somewhat warped. Knots and flaws in the boards now exaggerate into small holes. You lean forward and place an ear to one hole, listening for any signs of life on the other side. Break out to the other side. Okay, now it says if story point U5 is marked. U5 is not marked. So that means 2437. Okay. 2437. Before you even quiet your breath, you can hear the sound of snoring through the door. You listen a bit longer, but hear no signs that anyone else is in the room. Cautiously, let me make sure that I did that right. Actually, hold on a second. $24.37. Yeah, okay. Before you even quiet your breath, you can hear the sound of snoring through the door. You listen a bit longer, but hear no sign that anyone else is in the room. Cautiously, you push open the door just enough to take a look. Peering into the room, you see a pot-bellied orc asleep on a creaking wooden bench. 2 rows of rickety wooden cots lie against the walls. The orc is alone. A ring of heavy iron keys hangs from his belt, and an obscenely large dagger rests against the bench a few inches from his twitching, sleeping hand. Alright, we can either sneak into the room and steal the keys, or close the door and head up the stairs, chat. What's it going to be? Sneak into the room, steal the keys, or close the door and head up the stairs? Alright, so we've got, let's see, keys. Keys, snake keys. Why can't we just kill him as a safer bet? Well, maybe he's different. Maybe we didn't even know that he was there. Okay, keys. It looks like we're definitive in favor of the keys. Okay. 7796. Keys. Here we go. You creep into the room on soft cat-like feet until you stand beside the sleeping orc. The key ring is tucked partially under his hip. You give the ring a subtle pull, but this only serves to disrupt the orc's slumber. If you have stealth or thievery. I don't have thievery, but I do have stealth. So... Okay. The orc shifts in his sleep but does not wake. In his new sleeping position, you're able to work the key ring off his belt loop. Careful not to let the keys rattle against one another. Okay, gain the iron keys. Alright, that's good. We got an iron key. Yeah. Where was I? I lost my place. Okay, 7893. So get the iron keys. This is not the right thing. This is the right thing. Okay. Okay, we got the iron keys, which means we get to look into our items again in chat. Yeah. Okay, the iron keys. You claim the set of iron keys from an orc bandit in Eventide Forest. Alright, got a lot of items now. Alright, we got the keys. Alright, so now the orc shifts into sleep. Oh, I said that. Having successfully robbed the orc, you take another look around the room. Various baskets, gray and brittle with age, are stacked in the corners of the room and under cots. Do we search the room or sneak out of the room and head up the stairs? What's it going to be, chat? Sneak out. So yeah, I can search the room or sneak out of the room and head up the stairs. Alright. JRF says sneak. CQ says sneak. Polar says sneak. Stencil says search. So we have 3-1 in favor of sneak. Then we have 1 for search. So now we have sneak, sneak, sneak. 3 sneak and 1 search. Right, 4 sneak, 5 sneak, 1 search. Okay, so it looks like we are heading towards sneaking out. Room, head up the stairs. All right, now we're on the upper floor of the tower. The tower's upper floor is a single large room. The stairway winds along the west wall down to the ground floor and up to higher rooms of the tower. The east wall is crumbling and mostly collapsed. The window is set into the south wall of the room, overlooking the valley. Against the north wind stands a decaying weapons rack. You spot a tarnished axe and a bent spear, but nothing of real value. A large wooden table and a smattering of chairs are laid out near the stairway. A large wooden cage stands in the center of the room, crudely but solidly built, with a heavy iron padlock on it. Right, if 10 or more time has passed, and it has, read entry 4797. Okay. A young man, no a boy, lies dead in the center of the cage. A crossbow quarrel protrudes from his chest. Wait a minute now. Make sure I got this right. 6421. Oh, okay, you just didn't think much about it, I guess. All right. Well, a young man, no a boy, lies dead in the center of the cage. A crossbow quarrel protrudes from his chest. A broad-shouldered man with a scar running across his face leans against the wall, gazing out the window over the valley. The same man who led the bandits you encountered at the Tree of Tales just days ago. You believe him to be unaware of your entrance until you notice the loaded crossbow he holds aimed at your chest. "Here to save my nephew?" asked the man. "You're too late." He glances over at the cage, his eyes sliding off the corpse as if ashamed. "I didn't want to kill him." The man's voice is flat. Only the twitching of the shining point of the crossbow's quarrel betrays any turmoil within him. Would have been easier if he'd just agreed to support my damn claim against his sister. His eyes slide back to you and he seems to see you for the first time. "Go back to Dragonholt," he says. "Take Philip's body. Give my bastard sister a chance to mourn. I have time. I'm not the one who's dying." With that, he pushes off the wall and starts toward the stairs, his aim at your chest unerring. Okay, do we let the man leave and retrieve Philip's body, or do you draw your weapon and rush him? So leave the man leave and retrieve Philip's body, or draw your weapon and rush him. Kill! Rush! Kill! Bloodthirsty. Yeah, we're impulsive and this is heinous. Yeah, this is pretty bad. Admittedly, this is pretty bad. Alright, going once. Going twice. Alright. Alright, it's Russian attack, so to speak. You draw your weapon and take 2 steps forward before you hear the click of the crossbow trigger and the quarrel takes you off your feet. You land hard on your back and you can feel that the blow has broken more than a couple of ribs. You lose 8 stamina. Oh, God. Alright, well, can I recommend that we use one of our healing potions? We have 3 of them. Can we use one of these? Because we're down to 4 stamina, people. Can we use one of these things? That was a little rough. We recover half of our maximum stamina, which means we'll get 7 points back if we use this healing potion. We got 3 of them, but we just got knocked down to 4 stamina, chat. So, as a reward when you kill him, what if he kills us first? Guy just shot us in the chest. Cold-blooded. Triffid says yes. Craigery says yes. Says potion. CQ says potion. J-Rav says wait is a reward. Man, that's cold-blooded. This guy killed a kid. Right, going once. Going twice. Yeah, you can drink the potion, I believe, at any time, it says. So, yeah. Okay. So we're going to drink it. It's going to bring us down to 2 left. Plus 7 means that we're at 11 stamina. Okay. That was kind of, you know, it was kind of important. Okay, so you lose 8 stamina. By the time you stagger back to your feet, the man, Philip's uncle, has already swept past you and down the stairs of the tower. Well, crap. The bandits don't hinder you as you leave the valley. Some of them grin or make rude sounds as you pass by. Kirik watches you from the tower as you leave. Even so, your trip back to Dragonholt is difficult, burdened as you are with Philip's body. The fact of his death, heavier than any corpse, hangs leaden around you. A difficult, tiring journey becomes detached and dreamlike under that weight as your feet move one after the other and silence reigns in the wood and in your heart. You halt your retreat to rest at the top of the steep cliff that borders Eventide Forest. You think back to when you barely escaped the bandits with your life mere days ago in this very spot. You set Philip's body against a gnarled tree leaning out over the drop. You've wrapped it in a blanket, but you notice the blanket has fallen open only after you sit. Philip's face stares at you, gray in the fading light. You stare back, too exhausted to move. An enormous raven lands on the tree, croaking in triumph. You struggle to your feet and wrap Philip's body again in the bloody blanket before lifting him from the ground. The raven watches you, fearless, as you stumble on toward Dragonholt. You pass through the thinning wood and enter the orchards beyond. The grumbling bird follows after, flapping from tree to glare at you with night-shiny eyes. Eventually, the bird gives up the chase, lurking in a great old apple tree just within sight of the village. As you near the dragon statues, you look over your shoulder in the direction of the forest. The old apple tree looms huge and black behind you, the raven a blacker shape in the darkness. For an instant, you think you see a woman standing beneath the tree, her moonlight white hand resting on the trunk. But only for an instant, then the vision is gone. Philip's body seems lighter now as you carry him beneath the arching dragons. Somehow, the statue of black stone seems larger and more fearsome than it did when you passed beneath it earlier. The white stone of the opposing dragon seems tarnished, stained red in the light of the setting sun. Mark story point 06. Okay. This quest is complete. Read entry 6646 in the Dragonholt Village book. Man, well, this got dark all of a sudden. This thing got wicked dark. And bribing the goats. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, we had 11. It said if it was less than 10. So we didn't miss it by much. Like, we ended up marking off 11. So if we had had 2 less time, even if we had left, like, say, 1 spot earlier in Dragonholt, that would have helped. But we did not. And of course, I now completely forgot what number it said to go to. 6646. Okay. This is not going to go over well with the lady of the household. For sure, Triffid. Oh, yeah. Especially because of the difference that would exist with different skills, you know. Alright, 6646. As night gathers, you stagger into the village green, carrying Philip's corpse. Despite the hour, a number of people are gathered in the green, clutching candles and lanterns. You feel a murmur rustle through the small crowd as they notice you in the body you carry. You lay Philip down in the grass, sinking to your knees. The crowd parts, and a young woman rushes toward you. "Philip!" she cries, dropping down beside you in a rustle of skirts, her candle falling from numb fingers. As she bends over the young man's death-pale face, you see that she has his same delicate features, the same large green eyes and light brown skin, although hers still has the bloom of life. "So I'm the last," she breathes, her tears falling onto Philip's face. After a moment, she turns her attention to you. Her voice sounds ragged, torn from her by a wild animal. "Why didn't you save my brother? I wanted to go after him, get him back at sword point if need be, but Mother refused. She said the famous adventurers, Salice's friends, would do the job, and like a fool, I believed her." She stands, and the crowd gathers closer, silent hands lifting Philip into the air. "What shall we do with him, Lady Rochelle?" asks one woman. "Take him to the shrine," says Philip's sister. "I suppose I will have to tell my mother that her heroes have failed." With that, she stalks away, and the assembly disperses. Damn. Well, this encounter is complete. Well, crap. That didn't go the way we hoped. Remaining time passes. Read entry 5352. The moon shines through a thin layer of clouds. The night is crisp and threatens rain, but the swan is warm and inviting as you clean off the dust of your day. If story point J1 is marked, it is not. If story point 06 is marked, that's otherwise known as We Lost the Kid, then read entry 6147. You push through the swan's door into a chill mist that must have rolled in during the scant few minutes you were stowing your gear and washing up. As you walk through the fog toward the manor house, a weak rain begins to fall. The door to the manor swings open before you can knock, and Timothy ushers you into the great hall where a collection of servants are cleaning up after dinner. "Her ladyship will see you directly," he says, and leads you up a stair to the right, to a balcony overlooking the main hall, then through an archway into a large round tower room where Regina sits on a throne of black wood. Rochelle kneels at her feet, clinging to her mother's skirts. Salice stands at one of the tall, narrow windows nearby, watching the rain run down the glass. Regina beckons you closer, gesturing with one pale hand. Her golden signet ring gleams in the light of the hearth, its fire built tall. The room is uncomfortably warm. "We wish to thank you for your attempts on our behalf." One hand rests on her daughter's shoulder, and Rochelle shrugs it off. "Don't speak for me, Mother." She pulls herself to her feet, towering above the fading Countess. Her green eyes are puffy and still damp with tears, and she rubs angrily at her nose. "Philip is dead. I don't feel much like thanking anyone." "You are my heir, Rochelle. When you are Countess, being gracious even in the face of tragedy is just one of the things that will be expected of you. I'll only be Countess when you die, and I've had enough visits from death of late." Rochelle sweeps past you and stomps down the stairs. "Your fame decreases by 1. Well, damn, this whole thing was a complete, utter fail. Our fame drops from 3 to 2. That's not good. Read entry 5879. Damn. "Please forgive her," says Regina. "She never asked for any of this." She pauses and closes her eyes as a shiver passes through her, then sighs and straightens. Her eyes open, brilliant and clear and green. "Rochelle shows openly the grief we all feel in my household. Still, we are grateful. I feel that we will need more heroes willing to step forward in the days to come. People who will make the attempt to make the world better, even when it is hard, even when failure seems certain." She stands, trembling only slightly, and extends her hand to you. I fear that Rochelle may have cause to call upon you before too long. Mark 2 progress in heroism. Alright, well now. So, that's good news. 2 progress in heroism means we've reached 8 heroism. 8 heroism, right there. Which means that we gain an experience. So we now have 2 experience. And our fame increases by 1. Alright, so we get that fame right back. In fact, I'm not going to do it this way. I'm going to say that our fame is 3. So we have a fame of 3 again. You lose some, you win some, right? You kiss Countess Regina's signet ring and then are escorted from the hall by Celise, who looks more upset than you've seen her since Narek Hall. We all miss Philip, she says as she leads you down the stairs. Tell me everything that happened. The great hall is deserted aside from the stocky stable master busying himself by the hearth, so you sit and do so. Celise nods and asks clarifying questions as you go. Regina doesn't talk about her brother Kirik much, she says. But if I had any doubts that he'd arranged Sonia's death, they're gone now. He's 2/3 of the way toward his goal. We must ensure Rochelle stays protected. Fortunately, she's a more challenging target than either of her siblings. Celise walks you to the door and bids you good night. Yeah, exactly, Triffid. I still think there must be a traitor within Regina's household. With Philip dead, I no longer have a formal role as his tutor, but I'm going to stick by Rochelle's side until we get to the bottom of this. Get some rest. There'll be more to do soon. The rain shifts as you trudge back to the Swan for the night, becoming colder and more cutting. You try not to take it as a sign. The next day, a ceremony is held at the shrine. Although the event is short, nearly the entire village is in attendance, spilling out of the shrine into the village green. A low murmur runs through the crowd, punctuated here and there with sobs. Rochelle says a few words vowing to bring justice to Philip's murderer. Celise speaks of Philip's virtues. Others speak next, each in their turn. It seems like almost everyone in town has something nice to say about Regina's youngest child. Even Sapphire climbs up to stand on a chair and say a few words. I like the idea that they say each of these things, and then they turn towards you each time, and they're like, he was wonderful. Not that we'll ever see him again, you know. Eventually, everyone filters out, leaving the noble household and the shrine attendants behind to perform the final steps of the funeral rites in privacy. Okay. Well, that sucked. The next day is gray and rainy. The village seems to retreat into itself, the streets empty but the taverns full and loud. Braxton leads a patrol into Eventide Forest, from which she returns looking grave and shaking her head. Okay, we recover half of our maximum stamina, which we were already down to 14, half is 7, so that brings us up to maximum. So we're back up to 14 again. You are awakened early the morning after by the voice of Scala, the Orc Shrine attendant. Harvest, he bellows as he walks the streets, shaking a dried gourd as a sort of rattle. The spirits have spoken, and it is time for the harvest. The whole village springs to life, doors flung open and people rushing about on errands. Sapphire seems to be going at a full run in and out of the kitchen, pausing only long enough to shove a ham steak and a pile of eggs at you. Eat up, she calls. The harvest has started. After your meal, you step outside to find most of the village gathering at the field south of the Swan. You arrive to find Lady Regina atop a tall bay horse wearing a crown of golden wheat and holding a bean hook in one hand. She raises the bean hook above her head and the crowd grows silent. It has been my pleasure for many years, she says, her voice trembling only slightly, to watch my people work together as one at harvest-tide. The work you do together now secures our future. Regina guides her horse to the edge of the bean fields, then leans down with her hook and plucks the first bean pod. An autumn wind ripples through the field, making the pods rattle. We thank the spirits for their blessing during this harvest, she calls. Everyone cheers and the workers pour into the fields. Braxton and Rochelle join the workers among the crops. Regina, the stable master, and a smaller group of villagers move toward the village green, some carrying stools or baskets. Miriam and Sapphire return to the Swan, babbling excitedly about what to make for the feast. All right, so now we get a chance to do what we need to, chat, and I think, because it's getting kind of late, this will probably be our last call, because I had a bonus stream that I wanted to do tonight, which has been awesome. But we've been up for running for over 2 hours, and I don't have a long extra time. So this will probably be one of the last decisions we make for the evening. So we have a choice. We can expedite the harvest with runic magic, but we don't have runes. So we can either join the workers in the fields, we can assist with setup at the village green, we can join Miriam and Sapphire in the kitchen, or we can avoid the harvest as much as possible. So what do you think, chat? We can join the workers in the fields, we can assist with setup at the village green, we can join Miriam and Sapphire in the kitchen, or avoid the harvest as much as possible. What should we do, chat? As we enter day 4. What is it going to be, chat? Either join the workers in the fields, assist with setup at the village green, join Miriam and Sapphire in the kitchen, or avoid the harvest. Yeah, apparently not, Trivid. All right, Mrs. Dunsel says join Miriam. The setup on the green is, I think, where they're sort of like setting up for like the big festival that they're going to have over there. And so the villagers, a smaller group of villagers, are moving towards the village green, some carrying stools or baskets. So join the workers in the fields. So we have join workers with Triffid goes for. And what else? Set up on the green sounds more likely to keep options open, more nobles. Okay. So we can set up, so I have a vote for set up the green. So join the workers in the fields, and then I have an assist with setup. I have 2 for assist with setup. 1 join the workers, 2 with assist with setup. 1 join the workers, 2 with assist with setups going once. Setup, okay, 1 join the workers, 3 assist with setup. 1 join the workers, 3 assist with setup. Also, Blackberry Braces setup, so 4 setup. Okay, so it looks like we're moving in the direction of setup. Let's see what it says. 1104. You follow a group of mostly children and elders to the village green, where they start preparing to receive and process the harvested crops. Runners race to and fro, carrying tools and equipment, and a number of villagers carry tables and benches from the village hall out onto the green. If story point J1 is marked, and story point J1 is not marked, so that means 3705. I'm just going to follow this thread to its conclusion. Lady Regina settles down on one of the benches as Timothy frets at her side. The old carpenter, Theodore, examines threshing boxes and winnowing flats and shouts instructions at a small army of scurrying apprentices and children. "Philip," calls Theodore, "set up those drying..." His voice trails off. He swears softly under his breath, then points one finger at you. "You there. Set up those drying racks. Reginald will show you how." That's kind of a good moment, actually. Reginald is a tallish man, his nose and face red with broken veins, who shows you how to assemble the drying racks and explains that gnomes don't exist. When baskets of beans begin to arrive from the fields, he helps you lay the bean pods out to dry, while clarifying that clearly some people are very short, but they're not really a separate race. All right, mark 1 progress in social practice. God knows we need it. And mark 1 progress in heroism. Okay. Around midday, Sapphire, Miriam, and a few others appear in a mule-drawn cart with enormous pots of porridge, baskets full of bread, and pitchers of clean, cool water. Children run through the green delivering food and full baskets of beans from the field. You pause to eat, and Reginald explains that shortness runs in families, but that doesn't mean that Sapphire and Miriam are gnomes. What the hell is with this guy? After lunch, Timothy sets a threshing box full of broken pods and leaves on the table in front of Lady Regina and himself. They winnow the chaff from the beans by throwing a handful of the stuff into the air. The heavy beans fall back down into the flat, while the chaff is blown away by the wind. Lady Regina goes through the motions of winnowing mechanically, scarcely seeming to make any progress at all. But soon, children are dumping full flats of round red beans into clay jugs, then hauling them away for storage. As the sun crawls down the sky, the villagers get to work rearranging the benches and tables to prepare for the evening meal. Soon the food arrives from kitchens all throughout the village, and the tables are covered with hot, filling, honest food, just as the workers arrive from the fields, tired and hungry. Right. Read entry 6476. Harvest continues for 3 more days. Work gangs spring up in the village green, threshing the beans from their pods and packing them for storage through the winter. The village goats are set loose in the bean field, eating their fill of the remaining plants, and a team of oxen appears to plow under the fields. Harvest ends with a great bonfire and a feast on the market street. No venison this year, notes the old woodworker Theodore. Her ladyship won't have anyone hunting in the forest right now. Why, this reminds me of a story. Oh, God. I'll bet it does, Theodore. The day after harvest ends, it rains. Dawn is clear and warm, and life returns to normal in the village. Braxton reports for duty with the village guard, and Miriam returns to her shop, explaining that she really must get ready to open tomorrow. Tomorrow's a market day, she explains. The town's already overflowing with people. I can't miss out on the business. The other villages in Countess Regina's territory had their own harvest to reap, explains Sapphire as she serves you muffins and berries in the surprisingly busy common room. But they all bring their goods here for market. I'm going to get myself a goodly amount of that fine Evesmore wool and see if anyone has any silk thread. Celise visits you that evening to reminisce about happier days and share a bottle of elven wine. Sapphire invites herself to join you, and you wind up toasting old friends and new friends and everything you can think of before finally collapsing in your bed, tired and happy. You recover half of your maximum stamina. We were already at maximum. You recover 1 skill. We haven't lost any skills. This chapter of the story ends here. When you're ready to begin the next chapter, read entry 7996. Okay, so that means when we start next, we're going to be there with day 4. So let me just write this down in the notes. Well, I mean, we made some progress with heroism and things like that. We still have our strange mushroom, by the way, that we still have to eat at some point. And we got the iron keys, but honestly, like, I don't know whether that was scripted to happen and there was no way to get around it, or whether we could have rescued him or at least caught Sirik in the act, or Kirik in the act. But I'd have to say that day didn't go super hot, chat. Like, I got to be honest. Like, we made, we did get a point and scroll in social practice. We got a couple of things in heroism. We lost a fame, and then we got it back again. And we got another experience. So we're up to, what, like 2 experience now? 2 experience. We're at max stamina. So that's good. We're halfway through. But we've already lost. There's only 1 kid left, right? And so it's definitely, I mean, it's got to be Kirik. It's either Kirik, although every sort of clue is pointing towards Kirik, which makes me think that, like, maybe Kirik is doing it, but he's working for somebody else. Maybe. I don't fully know what's going on with Kirik, but something is messed up. That's all I know. And when we start day 4, we are going to have to see what exactly that is and what exactly is messed up and why. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. But that is not going to happen tonight. So, Dragonholt Village, we are, I don't know if it's halfway through the game, but not really. I bet we're almost halfway through. When we get past day 4, we'll be halfway through the game at that point. Because then after that, we've got 5, 6, and 7 left. 3 days left. So we've had 3 days. We're now going to be doing the day that's in the middle of these others. I don't know what part of the main story continues after that. But, yeah, that's what we're looking at. So this was good stuff. As always, I had fun. I just wish that, I wish that we hadn't lost poor Philip. Absolutely. Well, listen, I mean, the other thing is it was a downer, but it wasn't a downer because, like, everyone in here was angry at each other. It was just part of the story. I don't know that there's that much that we could have done to speed things up. I mean, I guess like everyone said, all the stealthing, but most of it we were able to do without incurring time. The biggest issue is that by the time we got into the forest, we had already lost a lot of time because marking off all that time because of time that we spent in Dragonholt, that was rough. So that by, like, the time we got there, we didn't have all that much time, and we still only missed him by 2 ticks, 2 marks off on the days, right? We still almost found him, so, but not in time, and the plot still thickens, and we're going to have to worry about that. Yeah, exactly. It was the hours in the bakery that really made the biggest issue. I'm glad you're enjoying it, Blackberry. So am I. I'm really having a good time with Legacy of Dragonholt. I really like this setup. I like being able to do these bonus streams, and I love this setup. It just feels really pro to me, and I love sort of that we're able to do it. As I say, my only problem with this game throughout has been the lack of art. I just think if they did a deluxe edition and they had just added art to this, it would have made a world of difference. And I think it would have justified the original price, because honestly, a $60 original price is like, that's shaky. That's very, very shaky. But $30, that's something which is much more doable for that. I should say, by the way, I have a good friend of mine who I got back in contact with a few years ago. Actually met up with me at Origins. He's a big board game player and a big mini painter and stuff like that. So I was talking to him. Yeah, I don't know that the stealth was wrong. I think we did. I think we did it basically right. We just entered so late that maybe that was the problem. I mean, we left in like mid-afternoon. It wasn't like we left in the evening, but even then that wasn't time. So I guess we just needed to book it because Philip was in danger. So that's something to think about. Anyway, I talked to him a little bit about this. So what he did was, he lives in Michigan. I live obviously in Connecticut. So he is going to be getting this game. In fact, he may already have gotten it. And then we're going to be playing this. I'm going to be playing this with him on stream. I'm sorry, not on stream. We're going to be playing this with him again, except we're going to be playing a totally different character. So I'll have a chance to check that replayability. So he agreed to get this if I would agree to get another game, which that I'm going to play with him. So I'm going to show it to you because I don't know how this game is going to work out, but we will see. Let me, we got Legacy right there. Where is it? Okay, it is. Yeah. So I don't know whether anyone has heard of this game, but this game is called Unmatched. And this particular set is Cobble and Fog. So the premise of this game is that you have a group of heroes and or villains that are basically going around against another. It's a 2-player game against another hero or villain. And it's asymmetrical, so they have very different abilities from each other. And each one of them has their own deck of cards, which basically allows them to create these different effects. And so the one that he recommended that I get, I mean, he said you can play with any of them because any of them can play with any of them. Some of them come with maps as well. And so I took a look at it. This game is not that old even. I took a look at it, and there were Cobble and Fog is Victorian London. So we've got the Invisible Man, Jekyll and Hyde, Dracula, and Sherlock Holmes, which is, a good combination. As you can see, I haven't even broken out like the dials yet or like the clocks, but I did like the sort of setup of it, and I wanted to point this out because, so we've got this right here in front is Baskerville Manor, okay? And then in the back, we have got, what is this? Soho. So we've got Soho on the back here and then Baskerville Manor. And then you've got these decks of cards. That one is Dracula's. This one is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. This one is The Invisible Man. And this one, obviously, 22-1B, is Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson. And they have the miniatures as well. So, and they're pretty finely detailed. Like this. Let me see. Can you see that? I can't. This one I think I have to show you on... I have to show you this on the good camera. I mean the better camera. What? Come on, don't focus on me. Focus on this. There we go. So you can see right there. So that right there, I think that's Dracula, I believe. Pretty finely detailed. This should be obvious as to who this is. Obviously the Invisible Man, right? I like that mini. This one here is Dr. Jekyll. And I don't know if you can see this. Oh, I love this camera so much. That's his face, right? And you can see okay. You can see that it's oh man, this is hard because it's trying to focus on my fingers. Like that's Hyde basically. A potion, right? Jekyll and then Hyde. Yeah, exactly. And of course, this person should need no introduction. Fisticuffs. And before you say like, well, Sherlock Holmes doesn't do that, let me remind you all that Sherlock Holmes is actually a pretty good boxer in the story. So he's pretty well known to do stuff like that. So it's pretty neat. I mean, I've never played it before, and I'm going to be playing it, as I say, with him. And I don't know what it's going to be like. Yeah, that's definitely Holmes. So I don't know what it's going to be like. You basically move characters around the board. And I don't know yet about movement or like how you move these things, but you play cards against people. And when you play cards against people, they have particular effects. And the interesting thing about the cards is that you can attack someone. The card will show you how much damage is done. And then the other card can defend against that damage. But then there's also effects on the card after you do the attack. So some games you have like an either or, right? Like you can either attack with it or you can use the special ability. In this case, you always do both. You attack, and then right after you attack, something happens. Like, Sherlock Holmes goes, punches, does like 1 damage, and then it says immediately moves away 2 spaces, right? So that he can't counterattack in that scenario. So that's interesting. Yeah, that's right, CQ. So, and they have all kinds of different ones. It's weird too. Like, so they have this one, right? They have Sinbad. They've got one that is Little Red Riding Hood and Bigfoot. They've got Bruce Lee just by himself, which I feel like I ought to just get by himself and put him up against other people. They have a bunch of the Marvel ones. They have and actually, although I'm not a huge Marvel guy, they have Moon Knight, who I always liked when I was a kid. They had Moon Knight, they had Luke Cage and stuff like that. So some of the ones that are not as normal with that. So they've got a bunch of these. This game only came out a few years ago, and they have these different expansions that come through. And I don't know how they balance it. I'm not even sure that they do balance it. I'm not sure that it's about balancing. I'm sure, I feel like it's about, Bigfoot versus Medusa. So there's that. And then they've got Little Red Riding Hood versus somebody else. Paul Bunyan or something? I don't know what it is. Anyway, he really likes it. My friend is a big fan of this. And so we agreed that I would get this and play against him if he would get Legacy of Dragonholt. So that's what we're going to do. I have a feeling he's going to utterly crush me. That's my guess. But yeah, I am too. I really hope it's good. I really, really hope it's good because I like Moon Knight, and I always thought Moon Knight was an interesting character that didn't get a lot done with him. And yeah, I'd like to see something done with him. I think that could be. I think Moon Knight fits into that like Mandalorian category almost in some ways. So I would love to see them do more about it. So anyway, it's nice components. It's obviously not a huge game, and I mean, of the ones that you get, this one allows you to play. You can actually play up to 4 players, I should have said. 2 to 4 players. And you can play these 4, or you could put Bruce Lee in Victorian London, or you could put Jekyll and Hyde up against, Red Riding Hood or something. And that's all pretty cool. And they each have their own abilities. So, like, the Invisible Man here has fog tokens, and these fog tokens basically allow him to attack and then slip away onto one of the tokens on the board that you've placed elsewhere and stuff like that. So yeah, it's cool. So anyway, I thought I would mention that because that was what we're doing. And otherwise, this game I'll be playing again with him with a different kind of setup. And we will continue to do our playthrough with Harriet, even if we did lose Philip today. We will not lose Philip forever. We will avenge his memory. That's basically the idea. So, that, chat, is going to do it for me for this evening. I'm going to list off that, and then I'm going to go zip, 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 zip. So this was a lot of fun, folks. I enjoyed it a lot. I hope you folks did as well. Enjoy the crazy long hair, because it's not going to be here tomorrow. I mean, some of it will be. I just don't know how much. I don't know how. I'm really hoping that I can get this expert to be like, the flowing locks, they're too flowing. I just want something. I don't know. I don't want Doc Brown, and I don't want a mullet. So I gotta see. Anyway, but tomorrow I will have this finished, and then you'll have a chance to see for yourselves whether or not it worked or whether or not it was an abject disaster. So we'll get a chance to see it. Hair today, gone tomorrow. Outstanding work, Triffid. I approve wholeheartedly, and I'd like to subscribe to your newsletter. So I'm going to get rid of the polls because we did not need it. And thanks again to Effect Life for ArvBot Plus. Yes, I do wish to close the application. There we go. So I hope you enjoyed it, and if so, I hope you will follow the channel. I hope you'll check out the YouTube. I hope you will check out !arvtube, Discord with !arvcord, Twitter with !arv tweets, website arvanellarun.com. On the financial side, !arv shop for merchandise for Adventures of Middle-earth, Infinity and Beyond, and soon to be Esper Genesis. !arv Treon is the Patreon right there. Sitting right there, 23 patrons, $2.05 per month. Cool stuff for you and cool stuff for the channel, including inspirations for the players. And speaking of inspirations for the players, I'm going to talk about that in just a minute with Rebel Crown. !Arv Treon for that. I said that. And then subscribing to the channel, of course, hitting that sub button as a number of you did today. Thank you so much for the subs and the resubs and the gift subs. That stuff also allows you to support the players, get inspirations, and all that kind of good stuff. So that is very much appreciated if you could do all that. Again, that would help out. And inspirations will be important because on Friday, I'm going to be doing Rebel Crown, continuing the series on Speculate Twitch that I play in as Venner Crace. And hey, the month resets next month. And so we have not had the opportunity for whatever reason to use as many inspirations this month. So a lot of them are just there. So feel free to send them down like water because the last stream, the last tabletop stream of the month is going to be on Friday. Guess what you just finished? Did you finish an overlay or a logo already, Shadowed? Are you that efficient? Are you really that efficient that already we've got ArvCon 2021? Oh, we got the reveal. We got the logo reveal. Yeah, look at that. ArvCon 2021. The 7th ArvCon. Looks awesome, dude. Thank you, man. Look at that. ArvCon 2021. That's what I'm talking about. This time it's Arv personal. ArvCon, this time it's personal. ArvCon 2021. ArvCon harder. ArvCon 2021. ArvCon of the Vengeance. Thank you very much, man. That looks great. That looks great. I shall speak to you on Discord about, well, what we might do, we'll talk about settling up financially, because it might be better for you, once the overlay is done, I just pay you for both at the same time. I'm thinking, if that's cool, that's probably what we should do. So just, yeah, drop me a line, let me know. But thanks, man. That's awesome. It looks great. So yeah, so that is ArvCon. And ArvCon is going to be happening very, very soon. ArvCon is going to be happening next month on Memorial Day weekend. Okay, cool. But don't let me forget, though, Shadowed, okay? Because I want to make sure that you're getting paid. But that is going to be, hopefully with Damon Runyon behind us, we're going to go even bigger and better this time. I have not yet figured out the goal that I'm setting. I'm kind of flying around the idea. I'm playing around with different possibilities, but I think I have an idea what I want to set for the goal, and I want us to really try to get there and hopefully blow past it, especially now that Damon Runyon is supporting us. So we will see if that happens. But that is going to be happening at the end of next month. So as I say, next month is going to be super busy. We're going to find out about Icarus, which is going to be up for the Independent Book Publishers Benjamin Franklin Awards. Whether it is a gold medalist or not, we'll find that out next month. That again is the IBPA Awards, and we'll find that out in mid-May. Speaking of Icarus, exclamation point Icarus for my graphic novel. More details about that. And Icarus is also up for the Midwest Book Awards as one of the 2 finalists in the graphic novel category, and we'll find out about that in June. So that's going to be great. Hey, what's up, Commander Dunsel? And another day it might be OrcCon. Yes, yes. It might indeed be OrcCon. Good to see you, Dunsel. So anyway, that's happening, right? What was I just saying? We've got completely lost my train of thought. ARFCon, blah, blah, blah. Oh, yes. So anyway, ARFCon. Yes. So that's going to be happening. Icarus is, that's the thing I was talking about, was Icarus, which is, you can find out with exclamation point Icarus, published by Athos Arts, which also is the publisher for Greyshade, which is going to be coming out in the next couple of months. And then the latter 2 books in the Grey Assassin trilogy, of which Greyshade is the first book, Renegade and Heretic, those will come out as a part of the Kickstarter, along with the tabletop role-playing game and the board game and Trend's audiobook, and all of that is going to be happening in late fall, in early fall, I should say, late September, early October. So that's going to be exciting. Been listening in the background, working on stuff. Nice, Dunsel. That's awesome, man. So yes, so that's going to be happening, and I'm very excited about that. That is going to be coming up, and if you want to know more about that, exclamation point Greyshade KS. Finally, exclamation point Library is for Tales and Tomes from the Forbidden Library, which is my 5e adventure and source book, and that thing is been sitting in customs on a dock. I would love to get it out so we can get the physical book out to everybody, because we've been waiting and it's been sitting there for over 3 months, and it's a joke that it's taking this long to get out of customs. But anyway, it's just waiting. It's really tiresome. But anyway, that is on its way. Regardless, the digital version has been available on DriveThruRPG for months and months, and you can find it there again with exclamation point Library. As always, exclamation point BLM, Black Lives Matter, which is very important to affirm and assert the importance of protecting Black lives. Again, there are information and resources available to you at that link. And exclamation point Help Now, which is the World Health Organization page on suicide prevention. Very important to reach out to others if you need help, and to reach out to others if they need help. It seems that they need help as well. Otherwise, schedule-wise, as I said, we are off tomorrow, unless I decide suddenly impromptu to run the stream where you're all watching as I'm playing, my friend here in Cobble and Fogs Unmatched, or if we're playing again in Legacy of Dragonholt. We will see. His line is just to interrupt again. Cute. This time I will not be disrupted. But anyway, so on Thursday, unless that happens, then I will be off stream. We will definitely be back, though, on Friday night, when on Friday evening we will be there for The Power of Rebel Crown Compels You. Rebel Crown, which is going to be, of course, part of our awesome Speculate Twitch joint event. This is, I think, we had a session 0, this is our second full session, I think. Is that right? I think so. I think it's our second full session. So things are going to be I think things are going to be ratcheting up a little bit in terms of tension and everything else there. So that's going to be a good time. And I play Venner Krace, who is very much like the guy Talbot that was taken out in our Legacy of Dragonholt. So yeah, I really hope that doesn't happen. I hope that Venner is made of stronger stuff than Talbot was. And I hope that my rescuers don't diddle around going to a bakery instead of actually going. No, I'm just kidding. Too soon. But anyway, so that's the case with that. Otherwise, though, I am going to be seeing you lovely folks, as I say, Friday. That should be happening at, I believe, 8 or 8:30 p.m. Eastern, if I'm not mistaken. And then Saturday, the first day of May, will be Neverwinter Nights 2 Complete, which is a lot of fun. So we'll be getting back into that on Saturday. After that, I don't know anything about May yet. I'm going to be dealing with that, sending out schedule possibilities on Thursday. So hopefully Thursday, I'll send stuff out, and I'll be finding out, and that means by early next week, I should have a sense of what we're looking at for May. But like I say, May's going to be busy. And the one thing we definitely know is that ArvCon is going to be happening during that last weekend, Memorial Day weekend. So mark your calendars and be ready, because it's going to be fun time of giveaways, music, tabletop role-playing, and most of all, the community coming together in solidarity to raise money to fight a dreaded disease. And that's the idea of what we're going to be doing. But that is going to do it for me for this evening. I hope you folks enjoyed it as much as I did. If you liked what you saw and heard, I hope you will follow the channel, as I said, and do all of those cool things. We are, I think, going to do a raid today, and I know exactly who we're going to be raiding also, and raids are really simple. They just go like this. If you are a sub, if you are not a sub, rather, you're going to do this. The Arvanauts have landed. That's lowercase Twitch. It's very confused. It's like, where am I? The Arvanauts have landed with Twitch raid. Lowercase Twitch, uppercase R, lowercase AID. If you are a sub, you're going to do this, which is the Arvanauts have landed. Arvany hype. You got Twitch raid. You got Arvany roar. You've got Arvany witch. Arvany whoa. Arvany what? Arvany what? WTF? I'm just kidding. That's not a thing. Arvany smug. Arvany love, etc. All of those things are possible when you are brought over auto-magically to the place that we're going to go. So please do that and stick around for the raid, because that would be much appreciated. I want to thank all of the amazing people who made this awesome stream today, and I'm never going to be able to read it from over there. So I want to thank my amazing mods, Coven of Lanara. I want to thank Shadow Mage, Triffity Mats, best mods in the business. Thank you to all of you. Shadow, thanks for that awesome ArvCon 2021 logo. You are the man, officer and a gentleman. Thank you to my wonderful subscribers. Thank you to Coven of Lanara, Shadow Mage, Triffity Mats. Thank you to Nonstop, Blackberry Bear, Commander Dunsel. Thank you to Configuration Queen. Thank you to Mrs. Dunsel again for the resubs. Thank you to all of you for subbing, and to Anonymous Gifter for gifting a sub to something Chris, I believe it was. I don't remember, something Chris. But anyway, thank you for doing that. And thank you as well to my wonderful Patreon subscribers in that group. Thank you to Gigafrost. Thank you to Atakin. Thank you to Public Enemy. Thank you to Rock God. Rock God, why are you not listed in my mods there? I don't know what happened there. Thank you to Tontoms, to you Christensen, V&K, and of course, West River Rat. Thank you all, lovely people. It was great. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, and I will see you, lovely folks, Friday for some Rebel Crown. We will definitely get some more Legacy of Dragonholt in with bonus streams, hopefully next month. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'd love to be able to do this so that we finish this, you know, I don't know if we'll finish it in May, but definitely maybe in June. I'd love to have that finished, because I think it's good. And actually, June would be a good time, because as I said, we're doing this with D&D with viewers plus bonus streams. So that might be a good time to make sure that we finish it up during the June stretch. So we'll see. But that's it for me. Much love to all of you folks. Stick around for the raid, and I will see you folks back here Friday evening for some Rebel Crown and the last day, believe it or not, of April. Until then, April showers bring May flowers. Everyone keep safe. Be good to each other.